Hello, I'm back with another video. Last time I talked about my top 5 favorite things about the Halo Infinite tech preview. So if you haven't read the title of the video or clicked away because of my awful clickbait, today I'm gonna talk about my 5 least favorite things about the tech preview. So let's just jump into it. First thing, shields and outlines. Now this, I'm gonna be honest, is only a minor gripe. It's also really only with the shields more so than the outlines, because the outlines don't really bother me too much. They could be a little thinner, but the shields, they're just too bright. I wish they would be more subtle, as well as a bit clearer to when you pop them. The overshield is also really ugly to look at. It just makes people look like a white blob, which I guess is due to being able to have armor coatings along with custom color outlines. But it would be nice if they could figure out a way to make it more subtle and bring back the green for the OV. Next thing, the map design. Now this might seem confusing since in my top 5 favorite things video I mentioned liking the maps, which is still true. I do like them, but mostly aesthetically speaking. The layout for the maps, on the other hand, from what we have been shown so far, leaves a bit to be desired. I'm mostly talking about the arena maps. The BTB map fragmentation felt fine. Behemoth, for starters, is just too big and too open for 4v4. It might work with like 5v5 or 6v6, but I don't know if we're getting that. I'm assuming we might in like Social Slayer. Now I know that map isn't supposed to be a comp map, but it's still not great even for a casual map. There's just too much empty space with no cover. I think back to like Last Resort and Zanzibar, or whatever you want to call it, and that map was big but had more paths and areas of cover that you could use. The other map that I had a lot of issues with was Bazaar, which is a shame because it's also one of my favorite maps in terms of looks. The middle of the map is just a death trap, and it just evolves into everyone just shooting at each other from across the balconies. There's not many flanks to take, and then there's some really odd parts, like for example, in the alleyway leading to rockets, there's a jump up to one of the balcony windows. You jump up to it from an orange generator AC looking thing to reach it, except to get there, you have to go up a staircase, then jump to another balcony, then to the generator. Why not just have it so that I can jump up directly from the staircase to the generator? Now, I'm by no means a map expert, but it's just a few gripes that I've had with the map so far. Up next is Bloom. Bloom is stupid. I hate it. It's never good. It wasn't good in Reach. It isn't good here. I don't care what you have to say about it. It sucks. Now, I've seen some arguments made about how having no Bloom would make guns like the Sidekick and Commando too OP, which to that I have to say, isn't that what gun balance changes are for? There shouldn't be a scenario where 2 players go into a fight, one paces his shots to control a Bloom, the other just spams his shots. Both have perfect aim, but the one spamming his shots ends up winning to either Bloom gifting him the accuracy or just purely from the fact that he fired all his shots first. Also on the subject of the Sidekick, it just feels terrible right now and kind of useless. Apart from the Bloom, it just doesn't stand a chance against the AR. It's also a 7-shot kill, but holds 12 bullets at a time, which is weird. Why not 14 for 2 back-to-back perfect kills if you manage to land your shots? The only useful cases I saw for it was shooting with the AR first and then switching to it, or shooting with the Sidekick first and then switching to the AR to clean up a kill. On its own though, it's just not very good, and it kind of sort of ties into my next point, the aim. Specifically on the controller, because that's what I mostly use. But as of right now, strictly from the experience of the tech preview, it doesn't feel good at all. I've seen people claim that it's super low aim assist or weird dead zone issues. However, the one theory I've seen that I think might be the correct one is that it's due to response curves, because the BR, for example, felt good aim assist wise, but it still had that wonky feel where sometimes it felt like it was a little too fast and then other times it felt too slow. I'm not sure, it's really weird. There would be times where I felt like my aim was perfect, then there was times where I couldn't keep my reticle on people at all. Windmill all over the place. Combine that with the super fast strafe in this game, and it just made things really frustrating sometimes. A few of my friends felt the same way, and I also saw a good amount of opponents online claiming similar experiences. Side note, I also tried the Battlefield 2042 beta, and it kind of felt the same way on controller, which was weird. However, I've never really played Battlefield on a controller, so I'm not too familiar on how that normally feels. I also have a suspicion that it might be tied to a network connection. Playing against the bots, the aim felt kinda fine, and when the second tech preview came around, the aiming actually felt a bit better, especially when playing Big Team Battle off stream. However, when I would start streaming, it felt like my sensitivity would double. Why does my sensitivity feel so high? I know it wasn't like a performance hit either because I used a 2 PC setup and it's only my game running on the PC I'm playing on, nothing else. Regardless, I really hope they nail the feel down on release because we really can't have another game with wonky aiming. The last and final thing that I disliked about the previews is nothing. Like, honestly, I tried really hard to think up of a fifth thing because it was supposed to be a top 5 things. And yeah, I've been working on this for like a week now. I couldn't come up with anything. Other than aiming and bloom, everything else really was just very minor gripes. I genuinely had a blast the whole time, even in big team battle with only one map. Even with the first tech preview where we could only play against the bots, I couldn't help but hop on every day and play more and more. I was genuinely like bummed out when the first tech preview ended. So I'm really excited for when the game releases. I think it could be one of the best Halos to date. That's everything for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you had anything you disliked, please feel free to leave it in the comments below. I'm curious to see what people who maybe didn't enjoy the tech previews at all have to say, because I did see a few comments on Twitter from people who didn't enjoy the game, so I'm curious as to why they didn't enjoy the game. But that's it, and as always guys, I'll see you when I see you.